The next three NONPF essentials I'm going to talk about are the practice inquiry competencies, technology and information literacy competencies, and the policy competencies. When I look at the practice inquiry competencies, again, in a nutshell, you can read all of this on your own. This is why I think there are so many clinical hours involved in our education. If you look at some of the things in here briefly, it just says applies clinical investigative skills to improve health outcomes. The other one is generates knowledge from clinical practice to improve practice and patient outcomes. Basically, they want to have a good knowledge that we can actually work to improve health outcomes. Because if you filter through all of this stuff, eventually what we gather from all of this is we better be able to help our patients. When it comes down to it, this is still health care, and it is the care of the patients that is of primary importance. If you look at the next one, the technology and information literacy competencies, it kind of sounds real high tech, and there are some things in there that, definitely allude to this new stretch for health informatics and in nursing, and there are even whole programs, master's programs that you can get in health informatics. But I really like number 2A. If you take a look at that one, assesses the patients and caregivers' educational needs to provide effective, personalized health care. And again, I think this goes back to number 1, cultural competency, and number 2, no matter how much technology we have in nursing and all of the little gadgets and stuff that we have that are available to us, it still really comes down to us sitting down with that patient and getting to know them, their needs, and no computer can do that. That's why we will never be replaced by a machine or a computer. And then if you look at the policy competencies, one of the things I really want to mention is Nursing 641, healthcare systems. Again, I don't think they just throw these classes in here just to make us sit through, 5 hours a night once a week of listening to each other talk. They do it for a reason, and it's because NONPF suggests that, this is what you need to know about. But more importantly, what I really want to say here before I go on to the next slide is that I think that they want us to know how the real world works. They want us to know that, there is a lot of shoulder rubbing, and how things get done a lot of times really isn't about necessarily what's best, but, sometimes there's a lot of red tapes and policy and hoops to jump through, which number 1 clearly states, demonstrates an understanding of the interdependence of policy and practice. So I think basically what this all means in a nutshell is that, sometimes you got to be a team player even if you don't want to be.